Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with Bring Back My Bar for 2025, the warm reviews. So as a consultant, you get the opportunity to purchase all 25 bars early. So I did that on June 1st, and then I did a cold sniff impression video of these 25 bars. I will leave that video in the card up above. And then I have spent the last few weeks warming like a crazy lady and trying to warm all of these bars to give you guys my reviews on them, but also to try to decide for myself what bars I want to pick up more of in July when they are available. So these go on sale July 1st on my website or on your consultant's website. I will leave my website in the description box of the video. This is a good batch. There are a lot that I enjoyed, some not so much. I will say there are 5 bars out of these 25 that I really love that I will be definitely picking up more of. So pause this video, leave me a comment down below. What 5 of these 25 do you think that I really love? A lot of times the way I feel on cold, things change on warm. So we'll have to see if that happened this go around or not. Yes, I am sunburned. The first day of summer, it got me this year. So my whole body is pretty red. So just ignore the bright red tint that you see coming off of my body. But with that out of the way, let's jump in to my warm review of these 25 bars. And the whole bar for all of these are gone. So we will go in alphabetical order. First up, we have Ace. Ace says, definitely unexpected, tangerine and lavender enrobed in dark chocolate and sweet musky amber. To me, this is a very masculine cologne forward scent. And I absolutely loved this one. Melted this one in my bedroom. It was the perfect space for it. You have to like masculine fragrances. You have to like cologne. To me, this is very reminiscent of like Lake My Day that's in the current catalog, or the Father's Day bars from Father's Day collection last year. So the ones that were all very cologne heavy, that's the scent that this gives to me. So if you like kind of a deep masculine cologne fragrance, you will love this one. And it's definitely one of my favorites out of this bunch. Amber Road. Open a box of treasure hand-picked from exotic lands to discover glowing red cedar and resinous incense. Melted this one in my living room, and it wasn't my favorite. It's very cedar heavy and it is very incensey heavy. I think if you like patchouli, incense, woodsy types of fragrances, maybe more kind of hippie leaning scents, you would really enjoy Amber Road. It was a good performer. There's a few here that were light, and I will point those out when we get to those bars, but for the most part, all of these bars were great performers. So like I said, there are a handful that I found weren't as fantastic, but overall, I feel like this was a really good performing bunch, and I melted these throughout various rooms of the house. Not my favorite, but if you really like woodsy, incensey, cedar types of scents, I think that you would like this. There's just some note in here, and I'm thinking it's something to do with the resinous incense that is not quite doing it for me. Apples and Oats. Definitely the best, in my opinion, bakery scent in this bunch. Rich, buttery oats, caramelized apple, and warm hints of cinnamon beckon straight from a farmhouse kitchen. This is amazing. This is so good. And it really does smell like a warm bowl of oatmeal, and maybe you have some kind of caramelized apples. apples that have cinnamon and sugar in them, and they've kind of started breaking down a little bit, like you're going to put them in an apple pie or something maybe. This is a beautiful bakery scent. If you are a bakery lover, you're going to want to try this one. This I feel like is in the same category as far as like almond croissant, apple butter frosting, breakfast in bed, like those classic Scentsy bakery scents. This one I feel like fits in with that perfectly. And it's a good year-round classic bakery. To me, this doesn't scream fall. I mean, an apple and oats and those types of fragrances, I guess, more generally scream colder weather to me, but this isn't too rich or, sharp that I wouldn't be able to melt this in the spring and summer. Really enjoyed this one. And I think if you're a bakery lover, you're going to really enjoy apples and oats. Cactus Flower Lime. So I think that this one was one of my least favorite bars on Cold, if I remember right. This says, Zen beckons like a siren song from this crisp, meditative blend of lime mist, water lotus, green tea, and delicate aloe leaf. This is a very sharp fragrance. It is a powerhouse. This one went for multiple days. I melted this one in my bedroom. I believe this one was actually the last bar that I had melted. You definitely get like a bathroom cleaner, fresh scent. There's something very spa-like about this. This is very crisp. You get that aloe. The aloe is very soothing. This was really, really pretty. I liked this one on cold. I liked this one on warm so much more than I liked on cold. So if you like aloe, kind of those green aquatic type of fragrances, you're gonna really, really enjoy the Cactus Flower Lime. Next is Candy Dandy. This was a bar from the kids line, it looks like. This says, almost sweet enough to eat. Kids will go gaga for this delicious candy-scented concoction of mango, lemon drops, and creamy vanilla. This really does smell like candy. It smells like a sweet tart or something along that line. This one was not a good performer. Even in the clamshell, it's very, very light, and on warm, I melted it in this wax room. I really didn't get much throw from it. I wish that this one would have been stronger. If you like a sweet scent or a kid that you would want something kind of sweet for their bedrooms, you probably would enjoy this one. But if you're looking for a powerhouse fragrance, I don't think that this one would be it. Very pretty candy-like scent, but just not very strong. Not very strong at all. Central Park Pralines. I know this is one that so many people love, and I was excited to try it because I've heard about this bar for years and years. A decadent confection of rich roasted pecans, buttery caramel, and cinnamon sugar. I didn't really like this one. I know I'm probably in the minority, so if you like bakery scents, if you like nutty bakery, you probably would really like this one. I really got a lot of that like roasted pecan, caramel. Neither of those are my favorite. I'm not a caramel fan in wax, nor do I really love a lot of nutty notes. And to me, that's really what I was getting from this. Good performer, melted this in the kitchen, but just not entirely my scent preference. Coconut Flower. This says, graceful tropical blossoms meet luscious pineapple and the subtle scent of coconut milk. This was really nice. You definitely got the coconut milk. You're getting the tropical blossoms. There is something very floral about this, but the combination with the coconut milk kind of took down those floral notes a little bit. Perfect summer scent, tropical floral, coconut fragrance. I liked this. I enjoyed this. It doesn't stand out to me as something amazing. For me, I was really looking for super unique to my collection or just bars that really wowed me. And this was really pretty and I liked this one a lot, but it's not in. Like I said, I've got 5 that I really, really love and will be picking up more of. And this one didn't make the cut, but really nice coconut floral type of fragrance for the summer. Okay, then this one, you guys, Cranberry Pumpkin Spice. This reads, sugar cranberry adds a sweet kick to baked pumpkin, delightfully infused with cinnamon spice. Somebody commented on my cold sniff video that this was like their favorite Scentsy bar ever, and we're so happy that it came back. And I am so excited for you. It's always great when people get bars that they are just loving and they miss and they come back. I have one that I'll talk about later with Summer Holiday. That's one that I wanted to come back for a long time, so I understand. I hated this one. This was probably in my bottom 2 or 3 of the bars. And you know what is so interesting about this to me? On cold, this is very spicy cinnamon. I get a lot of the pumpkin, a lot of like clove cinnamon spices. You know what I got on warm with this one? You're gonna think I'm crazy. Bubblegum. I melted this one in my living room and I kept going into the living room to like smell it and try to get a good idea of, you know, what I thought about it. I knew I didn't like it, but every time I went in there, I kept thinking, this reminds me of something. What am I smelling? And finally I was like, you're smelling bubblegum. That's what I got from this. And it doesn't make any sense that this is a bubblegum fragrance. Something about this to me just pulled like slightly Hubba Bubba bubblegum. I'm sure it was just me on that day, so don't pick this bar up thinking it was bubblegum, but that's really what I got from this. This one's a hard pass for me. You definitely have to like cinnamon, clove, spices. I bet Elizabeth Quinn likes this one to enjoy this bar, but for me it was just, it was a little odd. It was a little odd, I have to say. Next we have the one licensed bar. This is Disney's Belle Enchanted Rose. Rose petals, passion fruit, and sandalwood offer endless inspiration to those who dare to dream. So this one was a little bit light, but I'm thinking maybe it was because of what I was warming it with. So I did Belle in my living room. And on the same day, I did Mums and Marigolds in my kitchen area. And this sucker is a powerhouse. And so I think that this one kind of was overtaking the Disney's Belle. Maybe let's just talk about Mums and Marigolds at the same time because they're kind of similar. Mums and Marigolds is described as the sunny scent of summer, marigolds, rosy rhubarb, earthy cedar, and musk. Mums and Marigolds is straight up, strong, intense floral. Like this is a powerhouse. This is a 3-4 day in your warmers type of bar. You have to like very strong floral to like this one. This one was too intense for me. It kind of gave me a little bit of a headache. I probably should have spread Mums and Marigolds out throughout my open concept more, but I put this whole bar into my kitchen. So that one's a no for me. But if you're a big floral lover, Mums and Marigolds. Belle is floral with the rose, but this is much softer and this one is much better blended. You definitely get some of the sweetness from the passion fruit, the sandalwood. This one is not as intense of a floral. That being said, I don't feel like I got a great understanding of what this one smells like on warm because the Mums and Marigolds was so strong. But if you like floral, but you want it to be mixed with something and it not be just entirely in your face, the Belle scent was pretty. Exotic Vanilla. One that I very much was looking forward to before I even had smelled this, just based on its name, and then also on cold. I really liked the way this smelled on cold. This is vanilla bean, jasmine, patchouli, and sandalwood. This one reminds me a lot of the Very Vanilla that's in the catalog now, and that one's vanilla and tonka bean. It's your perfumey vanilla scent. This was very, very light. I melted this bar in this wax room, and I had to basically put my face over the warmers to be able to smell it. So because of that, it's not a repurchase, even though I love the scent of this. This is such a beautiful fragrance, and similar with Very Vanilla, both of these are just great kind of perfumey, warm vanilla scents, but they just don't perform very well. And if either of these, Exotic Vanilla or Very Vanilla, could just be kicked up like 2 or 3 notches, it would be amazing. But like I said, went for ones that really stood out performance-wise, scent-wise, and while this is a beautiful bar, it just was light for me. Now, I'm slightly tempted to get a few bars and just let it sit, trying to stay away from that mentality to the best I can. Fiji Flower. Should have put these in alphabetical order here. Fiji Flower. This is Pink Plumeria, Pear Blossom, and Apple. I saw a lot of people on my cold sniff video really excited that this one was back, and a lot of people talked about the laundry line that's in this. I've never tried this in the laundry, but this is a really great scent. This is bright and fresh, and you get the apple, but you're also getting, you know, the pear and the slight floral from the Plumeria. This is probably a summertime scent, a warm weather fragrance, but I also think that this one would be a great transitional scent from summer into fall, because you have the apple, you have the pear, and those really scream September to me. So to me, this is a nice transitional scent, but also a good summertime, fruity, slightly floral fragrance. Grape Vine. One of my least favorites on cold, because I'm just not a grape fan. This is described as somewhere between grape juice and Cabernet. So this one on cold, you know, to me, it's really just Welch's grape juice. It's very grape strong. Melted this one in my kitchen, and I have to say, while I still don't love it because it's still very grape, I do feel like that Cabernet came out. It was much more of a deep grape scent than I was expecting and that I was getting on cold. And so I feel like the description is really fitting. If you like grape, but you want a depth to it, it really does smell like a mix of grape juice and some red wine. Very interesting fragrance. Enjoyed this more than I thought I would. Still not one I would get again because I'm just not a grape person. But if you're a grape fan, and I know there's a lot of people that are grape fans, I think you would really like that. I like the wine note and just kind of the depth that it gave that bar. Okay, Linger. This was one I was very excited about. I do remember I had this years and years ago, but I couldn't remember exactly what it smelled like, and I did like this one on cold quite a bit. This is Pink Grapefruit, Sugared Apple, Lavish Praline, and Flirty Marshmallow. So this one I really didn't get too much from. This was definitely one of the lighter performing bars. It's a really beautiful bedroom scent. It's kind of a flirty, sweet, fruity bedroom fragrance, but it just didn't have that great of performance. And I kept going into my bedroom like expecting to just be wowed when I walked in there, and every time I walked in there I felt like I was searching for the scent. So kind of disappointed. I wish this one would have been a better performer. Pretty bedroom scent. I think it's worth a try, and I think a lot of people will really enjoy this one. It's just a little bit lighter than I would have preferred. Next is Luxe Vanilla. Another one I was very looking forward to. This says soft tones of musk, cyclamen, and jasmine blend with the delicate scent of vanilla. I really loved this one. I melted this one here in this wax room, and I described it this way on cold, and I feel this way on warm as well. This is like a sibling or a cousin or something to jammy time, fluffy fleece, snuggle up. It really fits in that family to me. But the vanilla, I think, calms that down a little bit. You know, jammy time, fluffy fleece, those scents can be very sharp and kind of strong and in your face. But the vanilla in this just took all those notes down a notch. What a beautiful scent. Slightly laundry leaning to me. You know, jammy time, snuggle up, those do lean laundry to my nose. Even though they have some freesia and some other sweetness in there, I think this is definitely in a similar scent category as that, but the vanilla just helps soften it. Beautiful bedroom fragrance, honestly, or an entire clean your house type of fragrance that maybe isn't crazy laundry heavy, but still smells very fresh and clean. Fresh and clean. Really enjoyed the Luxe Vanilla. Okay, and then Marshmallow Mint. If you watched my cold sniff video, you saw how in love with this one on cold I was. This is Buttermint and Marshmallow, Make Merry Beneath an Amber Veil. This was the first bar that I melted because I was so excited, even over summer holiday. It is just the most beautiful mint, but it is very marshmallow heavy. You get that sweet, creamy marshmallow. It's a very strong note, and the mint is just kind of in the background. I loved this. I melted this in my bedroom, and I kept going in there smelling it. My complaint with this is that it wasn't as good of a performer as I would have liked. It definitely was on the lighter side. I don't know if this bar just needs some cure time, but I wish it would have been a bit stronger. Still a bar I love. I'm gonna get a few of this bar for sure, but I am hopeful that the new bars that I get as they sit, they will get a little bit stronger. And maybe because this is so marshmallow heavy, it's never going to be a powerhouse fragrance, and that's okay. But I wanted it to be a little bit more intense than it was. Beautiful scent though. You definitely have to like mint, but if you like mint to be merry, if you've had that bar over the last few years and just like jam pack a bunch of marshmallow in that bar, this is what you would get. It's gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Pistachio Ice Cream. So this was one that I had years ago, and I remember really enjoying it, but I remember it being light. And so I was definitely looking forward to trying this bar again. This says pistachio cream, coconut, and vanilla meringue. This smells so good, you guys. This is such a beautiful, sweet, sweet coconut. It is definitely coconut cream. It reminds coconut, meant pistachio. This reminds me a little bit of Natalie's pistachio cake that she makes, where it's like the pistachio icing on the outside. It's pistachio and Cool Whip pudding, things like that. And so the pistachio is a little bit light and airy and kind of fluffy. That's what I get from this, like a very decadent Cool Whip pistachio dessert. However, this was absolutely scentless on warm. I got truly nothing from this bar, melted it in this room, so I don't know. I wish it would have been a better performer because it is a beautiful pistachio, but since I remember it being light years ago and I didn't really get anything from it this time, I'm going to pass on it. But if they could make that scent like 10 times stronger on warm than it is, that would be one of my favorite scents of all time because it's such a beautiful, creamy, beautiful pistachio. Okay, next we have a prickly pear and agave. prickly pear, agave, and sheer petals. This reminded me a little bit of the prickly pear flare that was out for, oh, was it Valentine's Day? Was it Mother's Day? I can't even remember what collection that was. One of the LTOs that we've had this year, the prickly pear flare, where you really get that prickly pear, that kind of agave sweetness. It's fruity. It's a pretty summertime scent. I melted this one in my kitchen and I enjoyed it, but wasn't a love. Red, pear, and pomegranate. If you're looking for a powerhouse, this one definitely was a powerhouse. This is pomegranate, rhubarb, and red pear. This is very, very pomegranate heavy. I also get a lot of the red pear. I don't really know what rhubarb smells like, and they have rhubarb in a few scent notes in this bunch, so maybe that oil was on sale. Definitely pomegranate strong. You have to be a pomegranate fan to enjoy this bar. Extremely fruity. It was good for the summertime because of how intense in, the fruit notes it was, but I could see this being a nice Christmassy type of fragrance too. If you're just wanting something around the holidays that isn't tree or cranberry, those types of scents, to kind of change it up but still be festive, I could see this being a great holiday fragrance. And again, very, very, very strong. Okay, this one. Definitely my least favorite of the bunch. I hate this bar. I hate this bar, and that is Rosemary Mint. And I mean, no disrespect if it's one of your favorites. Is that going to focus? There we go. But this one is horrendous. This is mint, tea tree, and rosemary. So I saw somebody comment on my cold sniff video, and I just want to say this again. This is not the rosemary and mint bar that was in the mental health collection. That one is rosemary and mint, and that one is very herbal. It's herbal mint, herbal rosemary. This is entirely different. So it's confusing, but this is a different bar. I guess it's the tea tree that's in this. To me, this smelled like Vicks VapoRub at the dentist office. The mint in here is that dentist toothpaste mint that I hate when Scentsy does that. I know a lot of people don't get that, so don't take my word on it. If you don't normally get toothpaste from Scentsy's mint, you might really like this one, but I get a lot of dentist office, and something about the tea tree, the rosemary, this combination literally to me smells like menthol Vicks VapoRub. I hated this so much. Great performer, very, very strong. You know how those bars are always the strongest, the ones that you don't like. So this one will not be in my top 5 by any stretch of the imagination. Then we have Seashore. This one says salted grapefruit, pink ginger, lemon zest, and vanilla bean. This one I'm disappointed in because I felt like it had so much potential, and it was a pretty scent. Again, a powerhouse fragrance, but this one leans very spa-like, very bathroom cleaner-esque to me. Scentsy tends to do a lot of bathroom cleaner scents in my opinion. This one's very bright, very uplifting, revitalizing. That's type of the vibe that I would give this bar, and I wish it would have been a little bit more aquatic, salty sea air, that type of vibe that I didn't get from this. If you like those really crisp, clean, spa-like fragrances, you probably would really enjoy Seashore. I was looking for something a little bit more aquatic leaning. Strawberry Taffy. Vanilla Taffy and strawberry puree. This one is true to its name. This smells like a strawberry, like Laffy Taffy. Very, very sweet. You get that taffy note. Very authentic. I like this one. It's a little bit more of a candied sweet strawberry. It's not a fresh strawberry. It's not a strawberry pound cake, but it is a candied strawberry. Very, very sweet. And strawberry can go one of two ways with me, but I did enjoy the sweetness of this one and incredibly authentic to what you would think a strawberry taffy would smell like. My beloved Summer Holiday. So this is a bar that I have been wanting to come back for years. One of my favorite bars from years ago, and then when it was discontinued, I was so disappointed. So when I saw this was in the voting for this time, I was voting for it like crazy. I don't think I voted for anything else. I put all of my votes on this bar. So thank you if you voted for Summer Holiday. I personally really appreciate it. This has notes of plumeria, tiger lily, orange, vanilla, and amber. To me, this is very Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom. I described it this way in the cold sniff video, and it's how I feel now. I feel like they started with Summer Holiday, and then they take this one out of the catalog and they put something else similar in. So like Sun Castles, Kukui and Coconut, Barefoot Beach, all of those to me, plus Summer Holiday, have a very similar fragrance of like Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom, but they're all slightly different. Like the Kukui and Coconut has more floral notes. The Barefoot Beach has more driftwood. You know, they all kind of have their own unique take on that type of base fragrance, but they all smell similar in that regard to me. I love this bar so much. It is so, so beautiful. And I melted this in my bedroom and it went for 3 days. And after the 3rd day, it had died quite a bit, but I could still smell it. But I was ready to kind of change it and, you know, smell something else. But fantastic performer, long lasting. If you like any of those bars that I just mentioned, if you like Sol de Janeiro type fragrances, you will love Summer Holiday. Tahitian Black Orchid. This one is Black Orchid, Dark Plum, Coconut Milk, and White Rose. Really light. Disappointed in this one because on cold, this smells so flippin' fantastic. You got the orchid, you got a little bit of the coconut milk, but it wasn't overly coconut milk heavy. I feel like you got the dark plum, the black orchid. This one is very body care, perfumey leaning to me, perfect for a bedroom. And it was pretty. I just wanted it to be a stronger scent. And then lastly is Winter Wonderland. This says an exhilarating blast of a frosty mint breeze. So this one is not near as bad as the Rosemary Mint that I talked about a minute ago, but this one has that same dentist office toothpaste vibe to me. It's just something sometimes about the way that Scentsy does mint, I just do not get. Again, very toothpastey. Doesn't give you the menthol Vicks Vapor Rub vibe that the Rosemary Mint does, but I get toothpaste from this. Good performer. I melted this in my kitchen. It's just not my favorite of the scents. So if you couldn't tell kind of by my reviews, the 5 that I absolutely loved that I will be picking up more of in July are Ace. I love the masculine cologne quality of this. It is beautiful. So Ace, Apples and Oats, Summer Holiday, Marshmallow Mint, and then last, Luxe Vanilla. Those are definitely my top 5, the ones that I'm going to be picking up more of, and the rest of them I don't need. They, you know, a lot of them are really pretty, and hopefully my reviews help you kind of figure out what you might like in these bars, because yeah, trying 25 bars sometimes it's a lot, but I'm really glad I got the kit this year. And it's interesting. Sometimes my cold sniff impression and my warm impressions can be entirely opposite, but I felt like this time around they were pretty set. The bars that I loved on cold, like my top favorites, were also the ones that I really loved on warm. And so I kind of aligned this year with my thoughts. So those are all of the Bring Back My bars. Like I said, they will be available on July 1st on my website. What are you looking forward to the most from these 25 bars? I would love to know. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I really appreciate you taking your time to be here, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye.